Hi guys, welcome to another video. It is currently hard lockdown, so I do have some extra time on my hands. However, I'm not able to go to the hardware store to get paint stripper. So I'm using what I have to remove these layers of paint off this intake manifold. So basically I'm using brake fluid. Everyone says brake fluid removes paint, so let's see. What I'm doing is soaking the whole part in brake fluid and then letting it sit for 24 hours. Okay, so as you guys can see, it is actually working. It's actually working much better than I expected. You can see the paint is actually starting to wrinkle up. There is some areas with some more stubborn paint, like here on the runners, but I'm sure just another coat and you'll be able to get the majority of this paint off. It's working better than expected. If you guys can see, the black paint is just flaking off. If you scrape it or brush it with a wire wheel, it just comes right off. The gold paint seems to be a bit more stubborn. It's a much thinner paint, so I'm not able to really scrape it off. This face here, I'm going to have to do something about, probably sand it to get it clean. But other than that, I'm quite happy with the progress. Okay, so for the most part, everything came out very well. Most of the paint is off. There is some tight areas where it's difficult to actually scrape the paint off. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'll see if I have something and I can maybe get into these tighter areas. Okay, so I found a bottle of something. I'm hoping it is paint remover. It looks like it might be paint remover. Problem is, if it is paint remover, it will probably be around 12 years old, so I'm not sure if paint remover expires, but I'm going to try it anyway. I can only use what I have. I'm not sure what this is because the label came off the bottle, but it could be strawberry sauce for all you know. But I'm gonna put it on and see if it actually does anything. Okay, so I used some 320 grit and a sanding block just to sand this face of the intake manifold. There's some rough scratches here, and here in the middle, I think because water can get trapped in this area, that's why there's some corrosion over here. But yeah, lots of scratches, not sure how this happened. Here where the water, this is a coolant line, so it looks like there was water in that area as well, also corroding the area. But I mean, overall, I'm sure this will seal. It does take a gasket. I'm not sure how they got the scratches into this, but I'm not really scared that this thing won't seal or anything like that. Okay, so it's been a couple of weeks since I worked on the intake. I was able to get my hands on some paint stripper. The lockdown restrictions has eased a bit. I've never used this stuff before, but I'm sure it will work for the last bit of paint that's in the difficult to reach areas. The problem I had was basically the gold paint doesn't come off with the brake fluid, and also tight areas, difficult to actually scrape in those tight areas. So I'm just going to see how well this stuff works. From what I've seen online, it looks like this stuff is going to actually make it a lot easier, and if anyone is going to do something like this, I would recommend just getting paint stripper right off the back. I only used the brake fluid because it was what I had, so I didn't really have much of an option. Okay, so the paint stripper is actually very effective. It's actually, while I'm applying it, it is removing the gold paint. You can see the paint actually becomes part of the paint stripper. So you're actually just moving it around as you're applying it. So I'm pretty sure even if I just use a power washer on this, it'll take off basically all the paint that is left on this part. Okay, so we made our first mistake. It would appear that I should not have left the paint stripper on this intake manifold, because it has now dried on it, and it does look like it formed like a layer of corrosion. I'm not sure, it could just be the paint and paint stripper drying that's causing it. But yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do now. I'll probably just try and use a wire brush to brush this stuff off. I really do hope it comes off easily. Okay, it does look like we are lucky. It does come off very easily if you use a wire brush. So yeah, the only thing is it's quite a intricate part, so actually getting a wire brush in everywhere is not going to be easy. But yeah, luckily it does come off easily. Wire brushing the intake manifold did work. It was tedious, but it worked. I now taped off everything, all the bolt holes and the pipes, just to give it a more OEM look. I know this part wasn't painted from factory, but if it was, they wouldn't paint over the pipes and stuff. I also took this opportunity just to clean up some of the cast marks and stuff like that, just to give it a bit more of a clean look.